Morning guys, how you doing? If you're anything like me, when you head out for a ride, usually you just suffer on the ups, and then on the downs you just take it as fast as you can, pin it top to bottom, and that's it. It's very rarely that whenever I go out riding, even think about sort of sections that I've ridden through. So therefore, you know, getting faster, seeing improvements, you know, they can take a long time. But if you look at the pros, when they're out racing, whether that's downhill, enduro, even cross country, you know, they're out checking the track out, and they're looking for the best way through a section, and they actually start sessioning that section and seeing which is the best way through, smoothest, quickest, fastest, whatever. And of course, those guys, you know, they're practicing every day, they are seeing improvements on a regular basis. So I've come back today to San Martin with Andrew from McTrail Rider and Miss McTrail Rider. Check out her new channel, more about that in the description. So we're going to be sessioning a few places in San Martin. There were definitely some cool sections we saw the last time we were here in the first video. I'll link up to that. So we're going to come back and see what we can do, see if we can find better ways down through certain sections, see if we can get any faster, a bit more flow or whatnot. So let's go down.
So the first drop's really awkward. It's actually on a slope when you come into it, and then you need to actually give it a little huck. So the first thing I think we'll be doing here is just taking off from here and try to squash it as much as possible, and then we'll look at other options in this one.
Yeah, because the tricky thing is, well, there are two tricky things. Is the entry, because as you can probably see, there are roots and rocks that are all over the place on the entry side, and there's also a little lip here and a little lip there. Yeah. And also there, you have to hit it just there, I think. And also there's the danger that if you do actually go a little too far, you're going to hit with the front wheel on here. So you have to think about how far you're gonna push it, I think.
Yeah.
Not so great there. And just roll down on the second one. Yeah, that actually felt a little dodgy on that first drop, and I'm sure in the third person camera that'll be reflected. I could definitely feel that tipping down. Not so great there. Oh, that was a bit better. And that was better. Just caught my back wheel on the second part of that drop. Oh, that was a bit better. We're just saying now, it's more a case here of how fast you're willing to go, because you've got, you know, a so-so entrance here. It's going to basically probably take it down the middle. Then you've got one drop, two drops, drop compression, a little drop. So basically, by the time you've gotten to that compression, you could be going potentially very fast.
Yeah, too fast.
So it's a case of you're more than likely going to get bucked over on the compression, or how much do you want to slow it down to so you can make it, because then there's also a tight corner at the end. So do you scrub speed here on the rock after the compression? I'm just going to take it slow and see what the options are here. Straight through the middle, drop, scrub up speed into the compression and down to the corner. Drop, scrub up speed into the compression. Got to give it a bit more speed, I think. Oh yeah, that's it. Much better.
When I'm at that point, my eyes are locked on that point. You just deal with what happens. Top tip, don't think about what you're doing, think about what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. The
faster you go, the more key that is.
It's something I struggle with continually. I have to tell myself every now and again, look further, look up, but
so do I.
I remind myself of that very few and far, you know, the number of times I do that is very few and far between. For the next one. Yes, I'm looking at the next one, looking at the next one, looking at the corner. Okay, so we're going to try and link up these corners now, which is very loose. Oi! Very loose. Oi! Went wide there. Okay, so down again. Well, that was better.
Right, so this section is pretty full on. The first part we've got is a fairly straightforward rock slab. There's a rock right here, which you could in theory hop over, but we reckon we're going to be going way too fast into this next section. So I think just a straight down the right hand side and then down into here.
Which is the biggest problem, I think.
Yeah.
Because that straight line down there, depending on the speed, brings you straight into this lovely wall of rocks here.
Yeah.
And there is a potential line on the left hand side, but it's very, very tight. I mean, you've got sort of that much space for the pedal, so you'd either have to have a lot of confidence in your manoeuvring skills, either hop it, compression or something.
Yeah.
But more than likely the line choice is going to be come down from where Andrew said, and come round straight over this rock here, which is nice in itself, but then it means you have to go back out to set yourself up for that final corner there. Okay, so the line we had originally spoke about was this one. Then you have to set for this one, and then down. But already, even as I was coming down, I could see that that wasn't going to be a great option, because coming down to the right hand side of that top rock means you're already poorly lined up to take this next line. So another line we did actually see from the top was just going through the middle, but
higher risk though.
It's a very high risk line.
High risk. And the front wheel, if it lands on the other side of that rock, it's going to pitch you. So it's high risk, but a good reward of being able to go straight and much faster. Theoretically, more control.
It's a high risk move on every front.
Yeah.
If you boost it, you're going to come down the back end of this, in the rocks there. You got the rock here on the right, catch either the pedal or the back tyre. Come down the wrong, just in the wrong place after this rock. There's a little compression there.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to think that I could make that line.
I'm going to try it,
but I don't think I'm going to.
Slower side.
Okay, so I'm actually going to try a line I said I wasn't going to do originally, and I'm going to go slow because I just want to see. Oh, there you go. I'm not even going to bother finishing the run because it went through fine. It worked, yeah. I said I wasn't going to do originally, I'm going to go slow because I just want to see. Oh, there you go. I'm not even... Okay, going to try this outside line again with a bit more speed.
That's quick. It's quick.
It's quicker than the first. Oi!
Right, this is a complicated one. Ultimately goes into a very open area, and Alex, will you show them the trail out there? Okay, so that's the trail. So we've got a few options here. The quickest line by far is the one that Nathan pointed out here. It's a straight line, a straight huck, but then it turns that into a corner, and that trail that we go onto is actually straight.
It's almost like 90 degrees by the time you get down there. You have to suddenly...
So yeah, it's really quick here, but then where Nathan is, opens it up.
There's another possible one here. Well, I think there's
a few
possible. Like you can see the line that everyone is taking is down this outside and continuing down the outside, and then really making an effort. I mean, they're actually going uphill again.
Yeah, it's almost a U-turn. Yeah.
So taking the line really wide and then pedaling. You have to put some proper pedal strokes in there. So there's an option of taking out the middleman, so to speak, and cutting through where Andrew is. So taking the outside line, but coming down this rock face and making it a smoother curve back into the trail.
I think this is the one, but we'll try that one and then we'll try this one. Okay,
so we're going to try this outside line first. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to try this one again, but I have to actually focus on what comes after the little feature as well, because I was so intent on what was in front of me that I didn't think about anything else. Okay, that was better. So I probably didn't hit the jump as well, but as I was already thinking about the curve, I was able to take it nice and smooth. Okay. That is awkward as hell. That is awkward. That is awkward as hell. Right, so that's more or less all the sort of techie parts to this trail. There's a couple of places on the way further down, but that's where we're going to leave it now for the session. And so what we're going to do now is Alex is going to get her bike and go down to the end of the trail, and Andrew and I are going to head up to the top. We're actually going to push up to it again, and we're going to try and do a full run POV style and try and put into practice everything we've learned on these sections and see if we can actually get a proper full faster run out of it. I'm sure I'm going to mess up in loads of places and forget these lines and everything, but I'll do my best to put them into practice now. Walked all the way back up to the top of the trail, which was fun. Andrew has already left to do his complete run of the trail down. He wants to compare his previous Strava time with the time now after sessioning certain segments of this. So I'm also going to drop in now. I'm not going to catch up with him. Okay, I felt pretty good. We're coming down into the successive drops. Okay, not too bad. Definitely faster than I've done it in the practice. Very slow in here though. Let's see what I can do on this section now. This was the section where it took. Okay. So at least I'm remembering my lines, even if they're not particularly fast at the moment. Definitely better lines. Slow in here, set up for the wide, and nice out for the corner. Okay, cool. Just like we practiced. Gnarly, very gnarly section there. Nice setup. Okay, nicely done there as well. Able to take it back in for the corner. And now we're into new terrain. None of this was sessioned. Oh! And a shame that we didn't, because I just went completely wide on that then. The motocross boys I just left crap everywhere, so whoa! That was a healthy buck there. Still, felt pretty good. Oh, really? Whoa! Man, I love that! So awesome! Oh, so much fun. The terrain is absolutely fantastic today. This is almost romantic, man, back where we started.
Back where we first met. Yes.
So if you know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the first video. This is where we ended our very first trail today together. Yeah,
I've enjoyed riding with Nathan every day possible, and I wouldn't have had a clue where to go. And he's not a company, he's just a guy who reached out and said, I can show you some trails, and my god, that's exactly what he done. Yeah, I hope if you have learned anything, it's that Madrid is a mountain bike destination and you should definitely consider it.
Cool. It's been great having you here, man. So, and without sounding too corny, I genuinely feel like I've improved since you've been here, since riding with you. it's just given me that little push to try things I wouldn't have ordinarily tried. A few features I wouldn't have probably tried in the past.
Well, it's been a learning curve for me, and I didn't expect to say that for someone that's been riding for 3 years. So, like,
but that's thanks to the terrain.
the top section that we didn't ride in this video, but the top section of this trail that we rode last time out, and I seen Nathan just go down this almost vert drop into a 90-degree left, and my skill and my perception in my head, that was impossible, you know, at that point. And then here's this guy down right in front of me, and then it's like, you can do it.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I've progressed in this trip. I mean, hopefully if I can progress like that in every destination I go, I'm going to be pro by the end of the year, but we all know that's not going to happen. But it's good.
Cool, man. It's been a great time. It's been a great time. It's been great having you here. Right, so we'll leave it there. Leave it with this beautiful view once more. It's been fantastic, guys. I'll see you soon. Be sure to follow Andrew and McTrail Rider on his journey around Europe, and now Miss McTrail Rider as well. Set up a new channel.
I had a sex change.
So go and check that out as well. And I'll see you next time, guys. Hasta la próxima.